friends, welcome back to my channel where I am sharing my TTC journey after being diagnosed with PCOS. And today's video is for all the women out there who have either recently been diagnosed with PCOS and don't really know where to go from here, or maybe you've had PCOS for a long time but you feel like it's not really been explained to you very well, or you've not received the support that you are looking for. And in this video, I am going to be giving you 6 tips to help you along the way to understand your PCOS better and to help you make some changes to maybe your diet and lifestyle going forward to help with your PCOS symptoms. And without further ado, let's get into the first tip. Tip number 1 is to do your own research. Now, unfortunately, although PCOS is incredibly common and it affects 1 in 10 women, every PCOS case can be completely different. And that is why there is no one-fits-all size approach to dealing with your PCOS. So my advice would be to go online, look up credible academic journals to help you understand PCOS and what can be done to help reverse some of those symptoms. You can also head over to Amazon where there is so many different books relating to PCOS, whether it's to do with helping you to manage your diet, your lifestyle, or get pregnant, or even just to get a better understanding of what PCOS is. And the reason I'm saying this is because, as great as my GP has been, she is not a specialist. And when I found out actually how many hours that general practitioners actually get taught when it comes to things like female hormones, it's not actually that much. So although they're able to look for like the tick box things, not every woman fits into those tick boxes. So for example, for me, when I was doing my research, a lot of it was linked to weight gain, which isn't an issue for me in my PCOS. And I am often what is referred to as lean PCOS. I've had to do a lot of research to be able to better understand what I can do for my body to help my PCOS symptoms. And that is why my number 1 tip is to do your own research, understand your PCOS, which is unique to you, what your symptoms are, and that will help you to be able to put a plan in place to help you manage your symptoms. Tip number 2 is to understand your blood work. So when you were being diagnosed with PCOS, your doctor was likely to have done some blood work to have a look at things like your LH, your estrogen, your progesterone, and those male hormones, which tend to spike in women who have PCOS. Now, if you live in the UK, you can actually get access to your medical records. Then this is something that I had no idea about. I downloaded the NHS app. You can log into this and you can gain access to all of your medical records, which has meant that I can look at my blood work, get a better understanding of it, do some research, take it to other professionals if I want to seek a second opinion, which has then helped me to decide what I need to do and what changes that I need to make to help my PCOS symptoms. So for example, from your blood work, if you find that you've got high testosterone, you can then start to do some research to look at what would help your high testosterone, what can manage that, what can help your PCOS, and start really to take control of your own body rather than relying on your GP to tell you what to do, because they don't always have the answers. So if you don't have something like the NHS app that's accessible to you, go to your doctor and ask whether you can have access to your blood work, whether you can have access to your medical records. And it's really about being able to understand them, take control of them, and then start to put things in place for yourself. Tip number 3, once you have done this, you might then be able to start looking at some supplements that you can take to support your hormones. There are so many different supplements out there which are advised for women with hormone issues, but if you have access to your blood work, you can really start to pinpoint some of those supplements that will be useful to you. I did do a supplement video a few weeks back, which I will link down below. However, I did not do that based on my blood work. I just did my research, had a look at what was advised out there, and kind of just started taking everything. I have an appointment with my doctor next week and I'm hoping to get my hands on my blood work so then I can really start to tailor those supplements to help me, rather than just treating all the general symptoms of PCOS that maybe I don't have. So even if you don't have access to the relevant information now, you can definitely start to go and look at supplements that have been advised for PCOS, make a note of them, and then once you've got a better understanding of your PCOS and your symptoms, you can start to cherry pick the ones that are going to work for you. Tip number 4 is don't be afraid to seek further medical advice. As I mentioned earlier on, not every GP is an expert in this area, and although they might have general sort of overarching knowledge, there are people out there who specialise in female hormones, PCOS, fertility and things like that. I had to see 3 doctors before being referred for a scan. 3. So that just goes to show that not everybody has a good understanding of the female body, and that is fine. Doctors will have expertise in other areas, but please don't think just because you're turned away by one doctor that the symptoms that you are feeling are irrelevant. So really, please don't be afraid to go and seek a second opinion, or even go and pay for private medical advice with a specialist if you think that's what you need. For me at the moment, my GP is dealing with some of my issues around PCOS and my scans and the infection and things like that. If you've got no idea what I'm talking about, I will link down below my last video. But I'm also going to seek help in terms of my fertility, which I'm paying for myself with a private fertility clinic, because I know that they are going to be the best in the field when it comes to fertility, and they'll also be able to give me some tips when it comes to managing my PCOS, specifically with getting pregnant. Again, it all comes back to research. Go and have a look, see what help is available, see what medical advice you can get. And if you are in a position where you can pay and maybe private medical advice is something that would be beneficial to you, then go for it. Tip number 5 is to have a look at your lifestyle. If stress is a major factor in your life, maybe you are currently working from home because of the pandemic, you're trying to juggle work, maybe children, or like me, maybe the whole diagnosis of PCOS and managing your health is quite overwhelming, then you really need to look into how to manage your stress. Now, this is something that I am still working on 100%. I'm trying to put in place some daily practices to help me manage my stress, and if that's something that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments down below and I can definitely do a video about this as well. I've definitely tried to pencil in some more me time to help try and alleviate some of that stress, which can really flare up some of those PCOS symptoms. For me, a big factor of my PCOS is IBS, and I know when I'm stressed that my IBS flares up. So we really need to get in tune with ourselves, try and manage our stress, identify the things that are causing us stress, and then try and make a bit of a plan for how we can alleviate that in our lives. So as I say, this is still a work in progress for me, but if it's something that you would like to see, let me know, and by all means, I would love to share that with you as well. And our 6th and final tip is listen to real women who are sharing their PCOS experience, real women who are going through this like you are. I have found that to be so useful, and one of the biggest reasons why I also started sharing my journey on YouTube and Instagram. As I mentioned earlier on, 1 in 10 women have PCOS, and every single one of those women might have completely different experiences. Sometimes I'll watch a YouTube video with a woman who's got PCOS and I can't relate to any of the symptoms or any of the issues that she's experiencing. However, I can find somebody else and be like, yes, I've got lean PCOS, I've got polycystic ovaries on a scan. No, I'm not struggling with hair loss or hair growth. No, I'm not struggling with weight gain. And I can begin to find things that we have in common and have a look at some of the things that has worked for that woman that might also work for me. So although, yes, of course, I am a big advocate for reading like academic work, studies that have been done on women and things like that, I do really value the experience of real women on the ground living with this every single day. And they are the women that have 100% got me through the last 3 months from being diagnosed and helped me better understand PCOS and what I can do moving forward. And I know that so many of my videos have also helped you guys, and you've reached out to me, and I've tried to be as real and open and as transparent as I can be about my journey, in the hope that it's going to relate to somebody else and also help them. And off the back of that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all the women that have connected with me over this, because you might also have PCOS. Whether you've had it for years and you've been giving me hints and tips on how to manage it, or whether you're at the start of your PCOS journey like me, and we've been sticking together to try and navigate our way through this and gain a better understanding of our symptoms and what we can do to help improve this. Now, of course, you can't cure PCOS, but you can definitely alleviate some of those symptoms, and it's been really helpful to hear like advice that you've sought from your doctor, gaining access to your medical records. It was one of you guys that told me about that as well. In terms of diet, lifestyle, stress, you guys have been incredible at giving me advice, and I really value it. Just really wanted to take the opportunity at the end of this video to thank every single woman who has either watched my videos and said they were useful or reached out to me with some advice, because we are all in this together. So I hope you found those 6 tips on what to do next with your PCOS helpful. If you've got any questions or any advice, please leave them in the comments down below. I love interacting with you guys and getting to know you. In next week's video, I am going to be seeing my doctor again, so I'll be giving you an update on that and what the action plan is for me going forward. So that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.